Sorry, I can't get there at the moment. You calling for some wheels? It's coming at you. I'll get back to it then.
most favorite recipe of yours, I will track it down. My girlfriend, too, is a wonderful chef as well. So keep all those things into the equation. Let me say one more, too. If you eat out, whether you eat meat or you're vegan, it's always a little more pricier, too. So don't blame it on, oh, I went to this vegan restaurant and it was pricey. You know, Outback Steakhouse isn't so cheap either. Longhorn Steakhouse and all these other places too. And if you eat out at restaurants, places like Subway, their veggie sub, when they're not doing their $5 special, the veggie sub is always the cheapest thing on their menu on Italian bread and it's vegan. If you go to Taco Bell, get a bean burrito without the cheese, you want to talk about dirt cheap, 99 cents. And I bring this up because students try to do this with me all the time. Gary, I understand what you're saying, but I'm broke. I'm a college student, only got $1, gotta go to McDonald's. Well, you can do the same nasty shit at Taco Bell too, okay? That same nasty shit, because if you're eating McDonald's, don't tell me you're eating for taste. Yes, sir?
So how do you get the same meat taste for a vegan meal without using meat?
Yeah, if you use the right combinations of vegetables and spices, you'd be amazed what you can mimic. For instance, there's a lot of mock fish that's out there. I was talking about the shrimp from that company. If you go to a website called Veggie World, V-E-G-I-E, 1G, VeggieWorld.com, they got fake lobster, they got cod, they got salmon, any fish product you're looking for, they use seaweed. Seaweed gives the fishy smell and the fishy taste. You've all had a good portobello mushroom at some time too. If you hook up a portobello mushroom on the grill, it tastes awfully stanky. So they use mushrooms and they want to get a beef flavor too. The woman that runs my recipe section, Amy Ball, one of the best chefs that nobody knows about. I was passing through San Francisco a few years ago, and one of my perks for traveling is that I get to eat all over the country, and I know what's vegan, what's out there, so I stopped by her house, and she says, you want a vegan hard-boiled egg here? Actually, she didn't say vegan, you want a hard-boiled egg? I said, are you kidding me? You got a vegan hard-boiled egg? What do you mean? There are no vegan hard-boiled eggs. She goes, I got one for you. She takes an avocado, slices it in half, takes half of it out. Think of an avocado. Think of a yolk that's been hard-boiled. The same texture. One's yellow, one's green. She takes the avocado, puts it on some vegan mashed potatoes that she made with hemp milk or rice milk, whatever her vegan milk of the day was. That mimicked the outside softness of the egg. She puts 2 dashes of salt on there and goes, take a bite. Holy shit. Vegan hard-boiled egg. So if you get really creative people in the kitchen, there are a lot of creative chefs out there, they can make anything taste like something else. So that's what they're doing. No chemicals. No chemicals. Yes.
Some of these meat-alike foods, do they have to go to extra lengths, like add a lot of sodium or corn syrup?
There's sodium in there for sure. Absolutely. And, you know, salt is something that gives things a lot of taste, so you might have to look out if you want to watch your sodium. But I don't want people to be concerned about sodium before you're concerned about animal protein, cholesterol, saturated fat, all the other things. It's kind of pointless. It's kind of like somebody smoking a cigarette in my face and going, hey, Gary, you should really smoke that weed. I'm like, what are you talking about? If you're doing something unhealthy, what's the point of trying to keep away something else that might be unhealthy for me? Yeah.
From what I understand, the basic concept of veganism is not to exploit or harm human beings, right? Everything from, say, cows to even yeast. But what about, say, if you have to deal with parasites, bacterial infections, diseases from that? How do you go about treating yourself?
Yeah. Self-defense is an unacceptable form of protecting yourself.
That's understandable. But say as a doctor, in your profession, you have to go in there and you have to kill
Kill what? Bacteria?
Yeah.
So are you founder of People for the Ethical Treatment of Bacteria? The only thing that bothers me when this is brought up is that you want to equate cows on the same level as parasites, as
I'm
bacteria.
equating bacteria and yeast together.
Okay, but do bacteria harm you most of the time? When they do, they're harmful. You have a right to defend yourself and kill something that's harming you. Now let me explain this in a different way. If you and I were walking through the woods, and a bear attacked you and jumped on you, do you really think I'd be like, oh, too bad, I'm vegan, man? In fact, I would beat the shit, or try to beat the shit out of you. And get them off you. This is self-defense. You were attacked. If some human jumped on you for no reason, I'd also protect you too. If bacteria are killing you and destroying your body, you have a right to destroy the bacteria that's trying to destroy you. Keep in mind, cows do not attack us. Chickens have never attacked a human being in history. Something else I'm kind of curious about How come we think we're better than chickens when we kill 35 to 40 billion chickens every year on this planet? We've been doing this for thousands of years. How is the murderer more special than the murdered? How is the oppressor better than the oppressed? We got this stuff backwards. We're not better than them. We're the ones attacking them. That makes us less important. That makes us worse. That makes us evil. Yes.
So, say the world population is at 8 billion, and at least most of the United States is considered meat eaters, right? So, with only a certain population or portion of the world being devoted to farmland or places we can grow food, it just seems to me that if most of the world went vegan, then it would, I mean, I know your quote on the 65% of the grain goes to meat products, but how would we support ourselves without meat products, or eggs, or
Easily and wonderfully. Let me throw out some other stats. 95% of soy in America is animal feed. 80% of corn in America, animal feed. 70% of the oats in America, that's animal feed. If we ate the stuff directly, do you know that 1 acre of land can yield 30,000 pounds of carrots, 40,000 pounds of potatoes, and 50,000 pounds of tomatoes? 1 acre of land can only give you 250 pounds of meat. Okay, we would be using less land, destroying less habitat if we just ate crops directly. Please go to the environment section on my website or go to a website called earthsave.org. Everybody gets fed. Here, let me throw this out there. You know the world's largest Feed the Hungry organization is called Food for Life Global. Please look them up online. When I found out about this group that solely uses vegetarian and vegan food to feed people 2 million meals per day, I found out about them about 10 years ago. I also found the second largest group on the planet doing Feed the Hungry stuff is Plenty. Plenty.org is their website. Both are vegetarian groups. Now, I sent a letter to both presidents saying, oh my God, this is wonderful. Finally, somebody realized you don't have to harm animals to help people. I got letters back that were almost identical. They said something like this: it's not that we do this for ethical reasons. We don't want to argue with you. We don't want to debate you on that. We do this because it's cheaper, and we feed 20 to 30 times the amount of people when we use vegetarian food than when groups use meat. One question, somebody up here?
I agree with you in the vegetables and fruit and all that stuff is really good for you, but I guess would say processed soy is bad for you because it causes the body to generate extra estrogen.
Well, here's something interesting on that. If estrogen is people's concern about soy, meat in cow's milk have twice the amount of estrogen that's found in soy. But let me break this down for you. So the estrogen that's found in soy is a phytoestrogen, P-H-Y-T-O, plant-based. Phytoestrogens cause no harm to the human body whatsoever. It's animal estrogens that drive the body crazy. But I got some good news for you. If you're really concerned about eating soy, you don't want to do it, don't do it. Eating soy does not mean that you can't be vegan or not eating it. There's wheat meat, or just get down to the nuts and bolts of veganism. Go fruits and vegetables, lentils and beans, and things like that. So you don't have to make soy part of your diet. And if you want to go to my website, I hope you do. I got a brand new section about all the myths out there about soy. A lot of them are being spread by Mr. Michael Pollan, The Omnivore's Dilemma. And by the way, what the hell is the dilemma? Is being kind instead of cruel really problematic to people? Michael Pollan, by the way, is a hunter, is an unpaid spokesman for the meat and dairy industries. Please do not go listening to the Food Incorporated movie or to his Omnivore's Dilemma book. He's nothing but Ted Nugent light.
I was just wondering if you only bought products made in the U.S. because you're advocating like cruelty-free, but then what about like cruelty to other people in sweatshops? Do you only buy American?
Oh yeah, nowadays you can look at the tag and it's from Hemptown. I buy my stuff from vegan companies that pay a fair wage. And yeah, I don't do the Target stuff anymore, the Kohl's or anything like that. There are a lot of other issues to be concerned about, and I'm glad that this is brought up. But let's keep in mind the main form of cruelty on the planet is what we do to the animals. But please get involved in other issues like avoiding sweatshops. trying to buy locally and all
Do you
this
find
stuff.
that it's exportable?
You know, I got 3 of these shirts. I just ordered them. They were $9 each. And they're cheap too. It's not as difficult as people think to live ethically. It only seems that way because we're used to the other way, not caring about where products come from, not caring about what happens to other animals and to other human beings. Canada kicked me out first in 1999. This happened because in 1997 I decided I wanted to do more than just be vegan. I wanted to actually free animals who were being held captive. So I went to a mink concentration camp, a fur farm for animals, the Everts Fur Farm in Blenheim, Ontario. I'm from Michigan, so Canada's right across, half an hour, 45 minutes away. So I went to this farm and I opened up the cages for 1,542 mink. Now, mink in the fur industry are killed 2 ways. One, they have their necks manually broken. They take them out of the cage and snap their neck back to the concentration camp stuff. Now, things went badly that evening. I was arrested, and quickly 540 mink actually escaped that night. Poles were cut in the perimeter fence. There was a little dirt road, and then there were 600 acres of forest. That's all they had to do was get across the street, find a way out. Unfortunately, 1,000 mink never made it off the grounds. For that, they were doomed. All I can give them or anyone else would be a chance to be free. I mean, let's face it, if you were all being held in captivity, you were going to have your neck snapped, your skin ripped off your body so somebody else could make a pair of slippers. You'd all be going, man, I hope Gary's coming by tonight. Open up this damn cage, give me a chance. So I got arrested that night. I was put in maximum security, by the way. I was given a 6-month sentence. I did 77 days before they deported me and threw me out, made me persona non grata. And let me just tell you a quick little story, too. While I was in jail, I was with some pretty bad people, child molesters, rapists, murderers, people who tried to stab people. They were trying to teach me a lesson. They put me in one of the worst places around. So they put me in the unit, day 1, kind of a holding unit before they moved me to my unit. And there's a TV set on in the corner. And the alpha male's got the clicker. And he's 5:30, 6:30 noon. Lead story in Canada that night. International terrorist Gary Orofsky sent to jail tonight. Gary Orofsky, international terrorist, sent to jail. I got international terrorist with every mention of my name. I'm from Michigan. It's Canada. I am now below. So, I don't know anybody on day 1. I'm standing in the back of the cell. And they're all huddled around the TV. And they finally realize I'm in there with them. One guy's kind of standing like this. That's the guy back there. It goes around, that's the guy back there. Now the alpha male gets in, he walks up to me, pretty big guy, he's like, you an international terrorist? I said, yeah. That's fine, man, you don't look like an international terrorist. I said, maybe it's because I'm the exact opposite of one. Here's what I did, I freed some mink, they've been having their necks broken. Now the first thing he said to me, I preached a lot in jail, first thing everybody said to me was, what the hell's a mink? It's like a big ferret, it's in a rodent. The next thing that was always said to me, this is not verbatim, but the intonation is verbatim, it went something like this. Wait a second, they put you in here with us? Because you freed some rats? And the emphasis was always on us. They knew they were back with us? I said, no, they put me in here with you because I also caused $2.1 million in damage to the mink farm and put the guy out of business permanently to this day, and we don't tolerate economic sabotage in our society. One more thing I want you to think about. When they first arrested me, they refused to give me bail. They thought I was going to bail out, go back to Michigan, and there's no extradition for mink liberation. So I had a 10-day bail hearing. I bring this up because I challenge anyone in this room. Find me a 10-day bail hearing for a rapist, a murderer, or a child molester. Won't do it, but the mink liberator gets 10 days. Now, on day 10, my attorney, Steve Rogan, found out that the same exact judge, Elaine Babcock, that had been denying me bail for 10 days, had just given a man from Michigan, 3 weeks earlier, $1,000 bail, second-degree criminal sexual conduct. And you know how judges can get when they don't want to hear something in their courtroom. Boy, she goes flush red, top of her voice. She goes, Steve, don't you dare bring that up in my courtroom. That's got nothing to do with this case, and you damn well know it. Now, I'm sitting over in the defendant's box. I can't talk to my attorney now. He's pacing, but in my head I'm going, don't back down, don't back down, don't back down. So he's pacing and pacing, like, come on, Steve. And 30 seconds later, he turns and he says, you know what, Your Honor? It's got everything to do with this case. My client tried to stop cruelty. And he wants to go to jail at this point and make a statement on behalf of the animals. You gave that guy from Michigan bail for sexually assaulting a woman, and you won't give my client bail? She looks at me for the first time in 10 days. And I was like, $10,000, Ben. Now, agree or disagree with law breaking, and I hope you understand everybody that we all collectively admire. Dr. King, Gandhi, Rosa Parks, Henry David Thoreau, Jesus, we're all radical lawbreakers. Every single person on this planet that ever made substantive change was a radical lawbreaker. Even if for some reason you don't think that I should be breaking laws or that people should break laws, you can't tell me it should cost $1,000 to sexually assault a woman for bail and $10,000 to free some rats. Bottom line on this, sexually assaulting a woman doesn't affect the economy. And we just don't care about things that don't affect the root of all evil. Money.
And what it got you started in the tattoo?
Tattoo is me with a mask on holding a bunny rabbit. And it says Presto et Persto, which is Latin for I stand in front and I stand firm. And it says ALF, Animal Liberation Front, which is a group that goes around, there's no membership, but anybody that goes around and liberates an animal or destroys a place of torture is considered an ALF member. What got me started was my stepdad is a clown in the Shrine Circus. Takes me backstage when I'm 23, and mind you, I got my blinders on too. I could care less about animals besides the dogs that are, in my life, or if a chipmunk runs by me, I'm like, hey, look at a chipmunk. But I'm like everybody else. I'm huge at animals. I can care less about cows and pigs and what they're going through. And he invites me backstage and says, you want to go see the elephants? I'm like, hell yeah, I want to see the elephants. Are you kidding me? Can I bring Wendy with me too? My girlfriend at the time said, yeah, bring Wendy down. So Wendy and I go backstage. We're excited. We're like playfully pushing each other like, I'm first. And we get back there and we just stop dead in our tracks. When you see cruelty in front of your face, you don't need somebody to explain it to you. I knew what I was seeing was evil. 3 elephants were lined up in chains, front left foot, back right foot, each of them, chained up to the cement floor of the warehouse in the Michigan State Fairground. I looked to the left, I saw a monkey screaming and grabbing the bars of his prison. I saw 2 tigers to the right of me pacing pathetically. And I turned to Wendy, part of my language, but I'll tell you exactly what I said. I said, what the fuck is an elephant doing on 8 Mile and Woodward Avenue in Detroit in the first place? She said, I don't know. And we walked up face to face with these elephants. And if you pay attention to energy, and please don't think this is weird. We do this all the time, like with babies, with infants. They don't talk and communicate. But a baby starts crying. You're thirsty. Oh, you're hungry. You need to be changed. You figured out. Look at their eyes. Look at their movement. These elephants were swaying like this neurotic. Now, I'm no elephant expert, but I know that's not elephant behavior. I later found out that's a neurotic behavior every elephant gets in every circus because they're kept in chains. In the wild, elephants walk 20 to 50 miles a day. I looked into their eyes. I saw nothing but hopelessness and fear. And I knew something was wrong. So that got me thinking, where did my food come from? Where did my shoes come from? What really goes on in an animal research lab? So that's when I started investigating. I mentioned this earlier. I started going into the Thornapple Valley Pig Slaughterhouse. I started going into animal research labs. And I fought it at first, like everybody does, like most people do. I didn't want to stop eating the animals. What else am I going to eat? Salads all day long? I mean, it's really like, there's a myth out there that all vegans live off of is iceberg lettuce and tomatoes. Okay, that's not true, but that's what I thought too. So anyways, the more I thought about it, the more I realized I was a hypocrite. And here's a paradox I want you to think about. Why do we call some animals pets and others dinner? Why do we fight for the rights of certain animals to be happy and loved and safe? Dogs and cats in America. But others, hey, slice their beaks off. Those damn hens, slice them off, fully conscious. Those piglets, rip their testicles out. Screw them. There's a major hypocrisy going on. You can see the choice that I made. All I can ask you to do is put your head on your pillow every night knowing that you are not responsible for premeditated acts of cruelty. Again, the world is tough enough for us, and especially for the animals. Do we have to make it worse by eating them? There is no need in this day and age to consuming any animal product whatsoever. It's time to let it go.
So I noticed when I came in here that you were not a member of PETA. Why is that?
Full disclosure, 2002 to 2005 in November, PETA funded my tour. I was never a PETA employee. I took money from them as a sponsor and as a contractor. I take money from anybody to do good things with it. I don't think it's wrong to take evil money and do good things with it. Now, PETA pulled their funding from me in November of 2005 because they told me that education isn't important. Really? It's the only thing that ever made the world a better place was teaching somebody else about why they should discriminate and harm somebody else. But bottom line with PETA, the corporation that is PETA, with their corporate headquarters in Norfolk, Virginia, I'm a money taker and not a money maker. I told you during a speech, and I meant it, I have never once charged a school for a lecture. I've never once charged a professor to pay me to come to their classes. I've never once passed around a collection plate to students. I do not believe you should have to pay to learn about the truth. Now, PETA, it cost me about $64 grand a year to do this tour. 35 to 40 is to travel, hotels, rental cars, food, gas. It's not cheap to live on the road 7.5 months a year. I take the rest so I can just live and pay my own bills, which is meager. It's a bigger salary than I get for doing this. But in the end, the accountants came into PETA's headquarters, Ingrid Newkirk's offices. She's the founder and president of PETA, and said, you know, we've given Gary 64 grand for 3 years. That's $192,000. We also gave him $20,000 to put his speeches on DVD that he gave out for free to the students when he was supposed to charge them $10. When I first got these DVDs, people would always come up and say, hey, Gary, I want to share this with my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my dad, my sister, whatever. And I'd be like, oh, great, I got some DVDs at $10. And nearly every student would say, I'm broke, I'm a student, what do you mean $10? I'm like, oh, okay, here you go. So I gave out at least 95%, if not more, of my DVDs. Well, PETA found out about that. They were pissed off, and I used to say, you guys make $25 million a year. You can't give out a couple thousand DVDs to people that are actually now begging to learn more about animal rights and veganism. So that, obviously ended our relationship when they pulled their funding from me. But something else, I always condemned PETA when I first started, while I took their money, and now that I don't take their money, I still condemn them. They exploit women. Their tactics are so ridiculous. They're always looking for a naked woman. Like Pam Anderson. They want to put Pam Anderson's boobs on billboards all the time. Now listen, I think that Pam Anderson cares about animals, honestly. But her boobs don't make anybody go vegan. Now when I used to bring this up with Ingrid, see those billboards that see your speech? I'm like, oh, it's not any close. Millions more. Are you telling me guys are walking through Times Square, New York City, there's Pam on the billboard, and they're going, holy shit, look at those tits. Let's get some tofu. There's no... No, listen, I understand why sex is used, why women are exploited to sell products. I don't like it. But if you tell guys, spray this on, and 12 women are going to tap you in the hallway and have sex with you, boy, give me some Axe, spray it all over me. You tell a guy you're going to get laid if you buy a Harley, boy, guys want to go get a Harley. But you show Pam Anderson's boobs, nothing. In, out, doesn't do anything. And there's a lot more horrible things going on in PETA. I actually have an essay on my website. If you click on other animal rights issues, I have an essay entitled What's Wrong with PETA and What's Wrong with the Humane Society of the U.S., which is nothing but an animal welfare group that doesn't want to see free animals at all.
You mentioned the pet thing earlier. How do you feel about if you have pets that are carnivores and feeding them meat?
Bad idea. Now, let me preface this. I do not challenge anybody's love for their dog or cat. If you're a sane person, sane people who have dogs and cats treat them like family members, like Michael Vick. But, brought up a major problem with them. Now, number one is they're carnivores. Now, this means we have to enslave and kill more cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, and fish to feed the dogs and cats that we like more than the cows and the pigs. Now, hear me on this. I don't care what carnivores do on their own in the wild. But I got the Planet Life series, Planet Earth series. I watched the National Geographic. I can watch a lion tear a zebra to pieces. Doesn't bother me. But we have no business killing on their behalf. And I'll explain this in a simple way. Who's got a cat? Somebody's got to have a cat? Did you ever go outside and kill birds for your cat? Thank you. Cat does it on his own. Nobody kills a bird for their cat, but you pay people at the slaughterhouse to kill birds for science diet, lions, and all that. Just like we pay people to kill chickens and pigs for us, because most people can't shove a knife in somebody else's throat. So, bad idea to have carnivorous pets. Now, good news, in this day and age, there's vegan dog food and cat food. Now, this being said, I am not here to turn your dogs and cats into vegan. I did not get kicked out of 5 countries. By the way, the other 4 countries somebody had were England, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Scotland. Even though I never set foot on their land ever, they preemptively threw me out because they didn't like my essays. But I did not get arrested 13 times to turn your dogs and cats into vegans. But if you knew what was in dog food and cat food, let me mention the other problem with having dogs and cats: we overbreed them. Every year we murder 5 to 10 million dogs and cats in our shelters every year. These are now slaughterhouses. So there needs to be a moratorium, too, until every cage is empty. But those 5 to 10 million dogs and cats in shelters that we kill every year, raise your hand if you think they end up in a landfill. No. Once a week, the rendering truck comes around, picks them all up and grinds them up and sells them to Science Diet, Alpo, and Iams, and all the pet food companies. So we're making our dogs and cats cannibals, and they don't even eat real meat that they would normally eat. I never talked about chemicals in all the animals that people eat. This is for you, too. This is a whole nother issue on the side that I'm more focused about ethics and stuff. Okay, but they eat clinically laced meat. They eat what's left in the slaughterhouse floor, things that we don't eat. Every time there's a meat recall or a spinach recall for E. coli, you don't think that stuff ends up in landfill, do you? Science Diet and Alpo and Iams. So this is why the vegan food is better for them. Now I want to show you something real quick. Actually, I knew this was going to happen this summer. I have never shown this before. But my dog Rex passed away in 2004. He was 15 years old. And Rex was a vegan for the last 9 years of his life. Nature's Recipe vegan dog food formula. Don't tell me Rex doesn't look wonderful, because he does. Because when I traveled with him, and he came with me a lot on the road, I took him to vets when I had to. Every vet freaked out and said, "Oh my God, you can't make your dog a vegan, Gary, because you're a vegan, he's a carnivore." I'm like, "Well, I do some blood work on him." They'd all do blood work, call me 3 or 4 days later and say, "Mr. Rowski, all the vets from the back room right now, we are astonished. Your dog is the most amazing health I've ever seen." I said, "Yeah, that's because my dog doesn't eat garbage." And when I say the garbage, too, when I was at Thornapple Valley for 6 weeks, every day I saw a truck pull into the lot. The side of the truck said, "Meat not fit for human consumption." I watched the truck go into the alleyway every day, took 3 garbage bins and dumped them out. The garbage bins. Right off to the pet food companies. Wasn't hard to track that. So this is why that vegan stuff is better. Now, the vegan cat food, by the way, is not on the market. You've got to go online. I think vegancats.com or evolution.com. But vegan dog food is at every pet food store that I've seen. It's called Nature's Recipe. Let me push it. Oh, I'm sorry. I think we're out of time. You know what? Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.
breaking laws, from people from Jesus Christ to Nelson Mandela, from Rosa Parks to Martin Luther King. Laws have always been broken to facilitate substantive change.
Today's speaker holds a BA in journalism from Oakland University and a radio broadcasting degree from Specs Howard School of Broadcast Arts. Gary Yourofsky has already experienced more than many people will ever want to in a lifetime. He's been arrested more than 10 times and spent 77 days in a maximum security detention center, all in the name of animal rights. Gary has lectured in hundreds of schools nationwide, including the University of Connecticut, Michigan State, and Bowling Green. Author Charlotte Montgomery even included a chapter about Gary in her book, Blood Relations. Please welcome National Lecturer Gary Yourofsky.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gary Yourofsky. Please take a moment and jot down my email address and my website in case you want to contact me later on. Today we're going to talk about the world's forgotten victims, animals. And the world's oldest and strongest addiction, meat. I'm going to challenge your belief systems today, so certain parts of the speech will be intense. But let me start with a quick disclaimer. I am not here to be your enemy. The views expressed today do not necessarily reflect the views of your professor or this institution. I am not trying to take you away from your religion. No religion mandates meat eating. The golden rule states, do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. Animals qualify as others. And thou shalt not kill. The four most important yet most ignored words in all religious teachings. There's not an asterisk next to that commandment saying, unless you walk on all fours, have fur, feathers, horns, beaks, or gills. You can keep your friends, your politics, and your patriotism, still watch your favorite TV shows and listen to your favorite music, even if it's Ted Nugent. I'll be making some sarcastic yet truthful comments throughout the speech. Please feel free to laugh while I'm being sarcastic. Just don't laugh during the serious parts. Now, I'm going to speak for around 65, maybe 70 minutes, but then we'll do a Q&A session after for about a half an hour, so hold your questions until then. In the meantime, I have some rhetorical questions for you. Is slavery, owner, victim, profit, domination, exclusive to the human race? Have blacks, Jews, women, and children been the only victims of this atrocity? Have not cows been enslaved? What about pigs, chickens, turkeys, fish, sheep? If they're not enslaved, then what are they? Free? Can slavery have a victim that is neither human nor animal? Have not the oceans, the forests, the earth itself become victims of ownership too? And what about a slaughterhouse? House of slaughter. Slaughterhouse. Do you really think there's such a thing as humane slaughter? Exactly what is your definition of humane? Besides psychological and physical abuse, torture, dismemberment, and murder, what else do you think happens to animals inside of a slaughterhouse? You think they get belly rubs and tushy slaps? And if you think there's such a thing as humane slaughter, I'm curious, do you also think there's such a thing as humane rape? Humane child molestation? Humane slavery? How about a humane Holocaust? In fact, what is your definition of a Holocaust? Is it a massacre of human beings or a massacre of innocent beings? I thought it was innocent, which brings us to the biggest Holocaust massacre of all. Every year in America, without mercy, we murder 10 billion land animals and 18 billion marine animals. Not for health, survival, sustenance, or self-defense. People eat meat, cheese, milk, and eggs for 4 reasons: habit, tradition, convenience, taste. I want to define a word that might be new to some people right now, and it's vegan. It's up there on the screen, V-E-G-A-N. Vegans, like vegetarians, do not consume the meat of any land or marine animal. Vegans also refrain from eating cheese, milk, eggs, honey, or any animal product whatsoever. We also don't wear animal skins, no fur, leather, wool, silk, or down. Now I want to let y'all know that I was not raised vegan. I ate meat, cheese, milk, and eggs for around 25 years. I used to wear leather shoes and belts and jackets like everyone else. In fact, around 20 years ago, I even owned a fur coat. Needless to say, I understand your lifestyle. It used to be mine. And for people involved in politics, let's get this out of the way right now. I am not a Democrat, an anarchist, or some hippie with a closet full of tie-dye shirts. I'm not a Republican, a socialist, or a fascist. I'm an activist. Root word is active. I've been banned from 5 countries so far and arrested 13 times for random acts of kindness and compassion on behalf of my animal brothers and sisters. If you want to read up about that, check out my website. And today, I would love to give you a chance to actually do something and truly get involved. Because I understand a lot of people want to get involved. Honestly, I do. But putting a coexist bumper sticker on your car, wearing a What Would Jesus Do bracelet, or sporting a peace and love and sunshine t-shirt, that is not getting involved. I understand that we're all on a journey in life. We all have different likes and dislikes, different nationalities and religions too. But there's one thing that we need to have in common with each other, and that's peace. Genuine compassion and genuine peace for our planetary companions. Contrary to political and religious dogma, animals do not belong to us. They are not commodities. They're not property, and they're not inanimate, stupid objects who can't think and feel. That Descartes Cartesian way of looking at animals like they're machines, it is outdated and, quite frankly, 100% insane. Because if we all understand that animals can use their eyes to see, ears to hear, noses to smell, mouths to eat, legs to walk, feathers to fly, fins to swim, genitalia to procreate, bowels to defecate, I'm always perplexed that most people don't believe that they can also use their brains to think, feel, be rational, be aware, and be self-aware. Am I supposed to believe that every body part on an animal functions just like it's supposed to? Except the brain? Those lies are thick. The propaganda from the animal abusers is enormous. I mean, when was the last time you turned on TV and saw a commercial for shiitake mushrooms? People singing and dancing down the streets, having a good time, eating mushrooms. How about alfalfa sprouts? Quinoa. It's a seed. Radishes. Raspberries. Tofu. You don't see that stuff advertised on TV. What do you see instead? Have some more meat. Have some more cheese. Have some more cheese on your meat. Meat, cheese, double cheese, extra cheese. And how about a little more cheese with your meat? Have some more cow's milk. Have some more eggs. And then what do you see interspersed between those advertisements? Not feeling so well? Need to see a cancer specialist? How about a heart doctor? Need some Lipitor, Zocor, Crestor, Plavix? Need some diet pills? How about some energy drinks? Some Kaopectate, Tums, Pepto-Bismol. You've been duped. They're killing you, they're killing the animals, and they're killing this planet. And those blinders are on nice and tight. But if you give me an open mind today, that's all I ask for, an open mind, I'm going to take your blinders right off. My goal is simple. All I want to do is reconnect people with animals. Awaken some emotions and some feelings and some logic that has been buried and suppressed intentionally by our society. And the reason why I say reconnect, it's because each and every person in this room used to be a real animal rights person at one time, a true animal lover, and a real friend of the animal kingdom. And it's when we were kids. When we were young, when we were kids, man, we used to be in awe of animals. They used to make us laugh and giggle and smile. They made us pretty happy. And there was a time in our lives when we would do just about anything in the world to make them happy as well, to protect them from cruelty, or to at least acknowledge the cruelty they were receiving. I mean, if somebody was mean to an animal in front of us when we were little, we would have screamed and cried. And that's because we all used to understand right from wrong when it came to the treatment of animals, until somebody told us and taught us differently. You better believe somebody told us to ignore their suffering, to mock and excuse their pain and their misery, to make fun of their very existence. And this is something I want you to focus on today, tomorrow, and beyond. What in the hell happened along the way? Who taught us to be so mean and nasty and vicious and hateful, or indifferent towards animals when they used to be our friends? These are innocent beings who have done nothing wrong to us. Because I'm pretty sure we can all agree in at least one thing right now, that hatred in its purest form is a learned behavior. Racism, sexism, heterosexism, anti-Semitism, misogyny, these are all learned behaviors. When kids are 2, 3, 4 years old playing on a playground, they could care less about the color of their friend's skin or the religious background. I don't think there's any doubt that hatred in its purest form is learned. So speciesism is no different. This could be a new word to a lot of people. It's up here on the screen, right below vegan. It's the word species, with an ism attached to it. And I want to define this word as the unethical, unprincipled point of view that the human species has every right to exploit, enslave, and murder another species. And all because we believe that our species is so more special, so more superior than the other ones. We're the only ones that count, and we're the only ones that matter. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that line of thinking, that thought process, that is the basis of all forms of discrimination. One group saying and thinking they're more special than everyone else, and they proceed to exploit them, oppress them, deny them their right to be free. They treat them like property. They enslave them in many cases, and in many other cases they murder them with premeditation and without penalty. And understand something essential about discrimination. It is never okay to be picking and choosing which forms of discrimination to be opposed to. Which ones to say are evil, racism, and which ones to say are okay, speciesism. Discrimination is evil on its foundation, or it's not. Cannot have this one both ways. It doesn't work like that. I want to ask you to use some empathy right now. And when I say empathy, what I'm saying is place yourself in the position of the animals and start to view this issue from the animal's point of view, from the victim's point of view. When you examine any form of injustice, whether humans are victims or animals are victims, please remember the victim's point of view. If you are not the victim, don't examine it entirely from your point of view, because when you're not the victim, it becomes pretty easy to rationalize and excuse cruelty, injustice, inequality, slavery, and even murder. But when you're the victim, things look a lot differently from that end. Now I want to show a graphic 4-minute video right now about what goes on inside of a slaughterhouse. I want to ask you not to turn away, not to close your eyes during this video, it's because if you choose to eat meat, cheese, milk, and eggs, I think at the very least you are obligated to see the pain and suffering you are causing. But if you do feel the need to turn away or close your eyes during this video, you might want to ask yourself a question. If it's not good enough for my eyes, then why is it good enough for my stomach? Do you ever wonder why McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's never show you those images in their TV ads? Instead, they show you smiling cartoon caricatures of animals singing and dancing and playing, lying to you, brainwashing you, programming you not to care about things you would normally care about, things that you used to care about. Right now, at this very moment, on American highways, there are no less than 5,000 concentration camp trucks. Trucks that we've constructed. Inside these trucks, there are living, terrified, innocent beings. Cows and pigs and chickens. These trucks are being driven to concentration camp slaughterhouses that we've carefully constructed all across America. When the trucks arrive, the animals are so frightened, they won't even get off the truck. They're not stupid. They know what's next. So people go on the trucks with electric prods and force them to walk down the chutes to their own death. Or if the animals are small enough to manhandle like chickens, we'll just grab them off the trucks and toss them inside. Inside, these innocent living beings are hanged upside down, fully conscious. In other words, they go in alive against their will and come out chopped up into hundreds of pieces. But you know what's more insane than that? Meat eaters. Walking around like their lifestyle isn't causing any harm. Like it's normal and natural to be consuming violence and death. How would you feel if the day that you were born, somebody else had already planned the day of your execution? That's what it's like to be a cow, a pig, a chicken, or a turkey on this planet. I think this type of behavior is inexcusable and unbecoming of a species that claims to understand right from wrong. The animals have not done one single thing to us to deserve the wrath and the cruelty that we hurl on them. And I hope y'all understand what I'm offering you today. When you hit the door after my speech, are you aware that for the first time ever, you can now directly participate in ending a massacre? Instead of sitting around and paying lip service to all the massacres and all the problems that are always going on this planet. What is so frustrating to me when I travel this country, doing around 250 lectures every year to some 7,500 students, is that everybody talks a good game. I've noticed that people are quite the smooth talkers when it comes to peace and compassion. I mean, people always want to tell me, never show me, just tell me how peaceful they are because of what they believe in. Or what makes them sad. Hey Gary, I believe in God, and I believe in angels, and I pray all the time. And those earthquakes, the one in Chile and Haiti, oh, that was so sad. No shit, it was sad. Since when does feeling sad about an obvious tragedy or believing in something make the world a better place or make somebody a good person? And listen, folks, I am not trying to dog you out when I talk like this. I'm not. I'm just not a politician. I'm not a bullshit artist. I don't know how to schmooze people, as you can see. It's kind of beyond me. Hope you appreciate my honesty and my genuineness today. And I'm not a salesperson. I got no books to sell you after my lecture. No DVDs and no documentaries. No collection plate going around. I don't want your money. I don't want your email addresses, and I don't want your mailing addresses. Keep all that stuff. I am here to talk about the worst form of cruelty and violence taking place on this planet, even though most people don't seem to care about it. But when you sit back in the comfort of your living room and you start condemning atrocities elsewhere, that is pure, unadulterated lip service. That's the definition of lip service. But veganism, this is now a chance to actually walk the compassionate talk that everybody's always talking about. This is your chance to show others how truly peaceful you are. This is a chance for a personal revolution, to leave your mark on this planet by causing the least amount of harm possible. Always being vegan. Now come on. What's the argument for not causing the least amount of harm? Inconvenience? Indifference? Apathy? Selfishness? I want you to know, I don't live in Fantasyland. I'm well aware that animals are suffering and dying just because we're here on the planet with them. We build homes through their habitat. We pollute their environment, destroy their habitat. Is there a reason we have to maximize the suffering and maximize the cruelty and the death that they already endure by eating them on top of it all? You want to talk about pouring salt into somebody else's wound. 98%, and I repeat this stat, 98% of animals who are abused and killed on this planet are abused and killed by the meat, dairy, and egg industries. This is where all the harm is taking place. And in America, from birth until death, each meat eater consumes around 3,000 land animals and thousands of other marine animals. Those are USDA stats. And I seem to think a lot of people eat animals because we've all been told that humans are carnivores, we're omnivores, we're meat eaters, and we're supposed to be doing this. Are you aware that physiologically, the human body is actually 100% herbivorous? Plant eaters. The length of our intestines are somewhere between 7 to 13 times the length of our torso, our trunk. That's the same length of all herbivore animal intestines on this planet. They're very long. But the length of the intestines on real meat eaters, hyenas, coyotes, bears, tigers, and lions, only 3 to 6 times the length of their torso. They have a short intestinal tract so they can push through quickly decaying and rotting animal flesh, animal protein, cholesterol, saturated fat, trans fatty acids, which is why it is impossible, I repeat, impossible for any genuine meat eater to ever clog their arteries. Never happens to a real meat eater. What's the #1 killer of humans who choose to eat meat, cheese, milk, and egg? Heart disease from clogged arteries, atherosclerosis. Humans and other herbivores, we sweat through our pores to cool ourselves. We don't pant like dogs and cats and lions to cool ourselves down. No claws on the human hand. Claws are a trademark of the carnivore and the omnivore. We have carbohydrate digestive enzymes in our saliva. Only herbivores possess that, meaning we're supposed to be eating tons of carbohydrates like fruits and vegetables. Our teeth, broad, short, blunt, flat, just like the teeth of other herbivores. And before somebody blurts out, "Hey Gary, what about these canines, dog?" Most of the herbivores have canines, incisors, and molars. It would not be possible for us to be eating hard fruit like apples without those teeth. Our lower jaw goes from side to side in a grinding, chewing motion like this. We grind and chew when we eat. If you grind and chew when you eat like you all do, you are an herbivore. The jaws of carnivores and omnivores can only go up and down, vertically, rip and swallow. There's no chewing, grinding, side-to-side action. And I'm a fair guy. I mean, if somebody out there truly believes that humans are meat eaters, I'll give you 2 challenges to prove me wrong after class, and please do so if you want. I want you to go outside and locate a squirrel on campus. And when you spot that squirrel, put that carnivore speed into effect that everybody has and chase that squirrel down, pounce on him, and catch him in your mouth. No tools, no weapons, no cages. No one's allowed to be a cheater and a fake carnivore with this challenge. And when you are done killing the squirrel in your mouth, be my guest, eat the squirrel. Eyes, nose, face, toes, tail, anus, inner organs, blood, fur, and don't forget about the brains. You don't get to pick and choose which body parts you want to eat, and you don't get to cook it either. If people want to be real meat eaters, I'd love to see people eat raw flesh from the bone, down to the bone, with nothing left but the bones, day after day after day. And challenge #2, find a 2-year-old child. Place the child in a crib. In the crib, put 2 things: a live bunny rabbit and an apple. If the child eats the bunny rabbit and plays with the apple, send me an email. Would you let me know? Because I'm going to come back and buy everyone in this this room a brand new car if that happens. Benzes and Beamers, leather interior too. In fact, next time I'm at Georgia Tech, if that happens, I will eat a steak sandwich in front of everybody, chase it down with a chili dog with extra cheese, a bucket of ice cream, and a bag of beef jerky too. And I'll take the jerky and I'll dip it in the ice cream and eat it like that. Now, I would not hold my breath on these promises, not that I won't fulfill them, I'm a man of my word, but those things cannot and will not be happening because humans also possess 0 carnivorous instincts. 0 omnivorous instincts when we're born young and growing up. We're all born vegan. We just acquire a taste for meat, cheese, milk, and eggs after they're forced down our throats during childhood. Now, all I'm asking you to do is something normal and natural anyways. Eat what comes from the earth. Every vitamin, mineral, and nutrient that exists, protein, calcium, iron, potassium, all the B vitamins, they have an original source, and it ain't the animals. You are aware that people eat animals after the animals have already eaten from the earth. People eat cows after the cows eat up the grass, some of the soil. Our corn, wheat, oats, and soy. Then we take more of the corn, wheat, oats, and soy, shove it down the throats of pigs and chickens and turkeys. Stop filtering your nutrients through somebody else's body. It's illogical and irrational. Go to those sources directly. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes. These things cannot harm you, cannot cause a disease, and more importantly, they harm no one else in the process. But when we consume what walks, what flies, and what swims, that is abnormal. Where does everybody think diseases come from? Broccoli? Asparagus, kale, collard greens, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, peaches, nectarines, grapes, bananas, avocados, onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, spinach. And in case anyone's wondering about those pesky little E. coli, salmonella contaminations a couple times a year with the vegetables, let's keep in mind the one and only source of E. coli and salmonella: shit. Human shit or animal shit. Spinach doesn't shit. Broccoli doesn't shit. Peanuts don't shit. Let's stop blaming the plant products when there's an E. coli salmonella contamination. That's the fault of the meat-eating society. Why? Well, meat eaters want billions of land animals to eat, so we have to mass produce billions of land animals. Keep in mind, this has nothing to do with God, nothing to do with evolution anymore. This is a business. This is Smithfield, ConAgra, Purdue, Tyson, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, KFC. That's why we have animal agriculture classes in college. So when we mass produce billions of land animals, they have trillions of tons of manure. That stuff gets in the waterways, and then there's runoff onto the crops, or they're putting feces-contaminated water directly onto the crops. But all of our main diseases, heart attacks, and strokes. Most of the cancers: prostate cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, ovarian cancer, kidney disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, high blood pressure, obesity, asthma. 4 main factors that cause them. Now, I know about other factors. I'm not saying that you can't get sick elsewhere. Of course you can. Smoking, drinking, stress, chemicals in the environment, high fructose corn syrup, Twinkies. I know about the other things that can lead to an ailment, but the 4 main factors are found inside of meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. Cholesterol, saturated fat, trans fatty acids, animal protein. And I repeat that last one that nobody wants to hear about: animal protein. But when you go vegan, did you know that you eliminate cholesterol entirely from your diet? You can only get cholesterol from meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. And your body makes cholesterol on its own. That's the only such thing as good cholesterol. If you bring it in from an outside source, it's automatically bad cholesterol. You can take out around 95% of saturated fat when you go vegan, and you can take out all the naturally occurring trans fatty acids too. Keep this in mind: between 2 to 9% of all meat and all dairy naturally comprised of trans fatty acids. And you can obviously take out all of animal protein. Now, animal protein is way too acidic for the human body. We don't process it properly. It is the main reason why 1 in 3 meat eaters continually get cancer. And it's one of the main causes of osteoporosis. Were you aware that when animal protein enters the human body, it makes our blood acidic instantaneously? But our blood can't stay acidic for long or else we die. So our body has to figure out instantly how to neutralize the acidity. I have some good news and some bad news. Let's start with the good. Our bodies have figured out how to neutralize the acidity. Bad news. There's only one way to make it happen at this point. With phosphate. There's only one source of phosphate in the human body. Bones. Just so you know, our bones are comprised of 2 things, calcium phosphate, and they're binded together. So our body leaches calcium phosphate out of the bones, takes the phosphate to neutralize the acidity, and then we pee out the calcium. This is why every single epidemiological study, those are the ones done on human populations, every single one shows that societies that consume the most amount of animal protein have the worst rates of osteoporosis, bone fractures, and cancers. While societies that consume little to no animal protein, the vegan and vegetarian ones, Hindus, Buddhists, Jains, Rastafarians, Seventh-day Adventists, have little to no rates of osteoporosis, bone fractures, and cancers. And so we don't get into a debate during Q&A about different medical studies that are out there. A lot of times when people know I'm coming to class in advance, boy, they'll spend a few hours online looking up studies, print it out, wait for Q&A, and go, hey, Yorovsky, I got a study here that contradicted everything you told us today. What's up with that? Well, here's what's up with that. You don't need a medical study to show you what people are dying of. But for the record, every study you can produce showing that humans need meat, cheese, milk, and eggs, I'll produce too. 2-to-1 ratio, showing that meat, cheese, milk, and eggs are responsible for every major disease. But we all know medical studies can be manipulated either way. So even though I got a heavy 2-to-1 edge on this, I say toss them all out, because you don't need them. All you have to do is pay attention to this meat, cheese, milk, egg-eating society that we all live in. So how many of your family members and your friends' family members have a disease already or have died already from a disease? Because I can't be the only one affected by this. My grandfather died from a heart attack. My grandma died from a stroke. My Uncle Jack died from a heart attack. And last October on the 15th, I got a call around midnight that my father had just died from a heart attack. My mom, she's got asthma. My stepdad's got heart disease so badly he takes 7 pills for breakfast. My best friend Darren, 4 of his aunts and uncles have died from diabetes. His ex-girlfriend Rita has breast cancer at 40 and she's dying. Just found out a few months ago that his current girlfriend Dion has ovarian cancer. And yesterday my girlfriend just found out that her father has prostate cancer. What's the one thing we all have in common with each other besides the air we breathe and the water we drink? Meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. Animal products all day long. And I know you can blame some of the cancers on environmental pollution. There's no doubt about that. But how are you going to blame heart attacks and strokes on environmental pollution? And diabetes, osteoporosis, obesity? Here, I'm going to break this down for you in a couple different ways today. I'll show you what's killing people. And I'm going to show you who's lying to you too. Flat out, bold-faced lies. Let's come to an agreement on the dairy industry. And let me know if I'm being unfair with this. I want to know. According to the dairy industry itself, the main reason they exist is so you can get calcium. Fair? Is that not their entire claim? Eat some cheese, drink some cow's milk, strong bones, strong body. Milk does a body good. Got milk? Check it out with the USDA. In America, we consume the most amount of dairy on the planet. Right here, you can't even get a sandwich anymore without cheese. We put cheese in every nook and every cranny of every single food item. We put it inside the pizza crust now. We put cheese on top of salads too. You can't even get salad anymore without cheese. And if you'd like to find salad minus the cheese, what's the first thing people say to the waiter? Hey, can I get some ranch or some Thousand Island? Can you pour some dairy on these vegetables for me? So in this society where everybody is hooked on cheese, I mean hooked like it's been laced with weed, crack, ecstasy, morphine, and the antidote. Most people can't even fathom one meal, let alone one day or a lifetime without cheese. In fact, if you want to know why vegetarians never go vegan, cheese. Cheese on a baked potato, cheese on the broccoli, cheese on everything in sight. Even lactose intolerant people eat cheese. And I don't care what anybody says about this, they might avoid straight up cow's milk, but slap a double cheese pepperoni pizza down in front of a lactose intolerant person, no hesitation, right down the hatch. So we got all these animal products coming into our diet. Do you ever wonder why there are no less than 3 TV commercials being run for calcium supplements? Actonel, Boniva, Citricat. You've got to be kidding me. Calcium supplements in America? How come there's osteoporosis at all? How come at the vitamin stores, I say plural stores, because when I travel the country, boy meat eaters pull me aside all the time and say, hey Gary, we eat meat because you get everything you need from meat. All the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients. Well, how come in this meat, cheese, milk, egg eating society that we all live in, every city has not only 1, but 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 vitamin stores? How come Rite Aid, CVS, and Walgreens now have complete vitamin sections too? With a whole shelf devoted to calcium supplements. I thought everybody was getting calcium from the animal products. That's what the meat and dairy people say. Newsflash, you don't. Animal protein won't allow it. Animal protein makes your blood acidic, so your body takes calcium phosphate out of the bones. Phosphate to neutralize, calcium gets excreted through the urine. There are 4 commercials for fiber. Metamucil, Fibercon, Fibersure, and Vetafiber. If people ate a friggin' apple or a pear once in a while, nobody would need help taking a shit. Now pay attention and look around and see what's going on. Now with all this being said, we've established the 4 reasons why people eat meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. No debating, no discussing it. Habit, tradition, convenience, tasty. Yeah, I know why people do it. I did it for 25 years myself. We don't do this to be ethical and stay healthy. That's obvious. And we don't do this to help the environment out either. 2 quick things on the environment. And by the way, go to my website, click on All About Veganism, click on the environment section. World hunger and environmental pollution. Root cause of world hunger, meat-eating societies. 65% of the world's grains are set aside every year to feed 53 billion land animals that are killed every year on this planet. And tens of billions of marine animals. We got fish farms nowadays. Instead of using those crops for 6.5 billion people. Do the math on this. You don't have to be Einstein to figure this equation out. And again, environmental pollution, air pollution, water pollution, deforestation, greenhouse gas emissions. Number 1 cause is animal agriculture. Now, I want to get back to taste good, though, because I think meat tastes great. It might shock you to hear me say that, but if you're doing some kind of extra credit essay on my speech, you want to quote me right now. I love the way meat tastes. Love it. Cheese, love it. Cow's milk and eggs, love it. Guilty as charged. I did not stop eating this stuff because of a taste issue. I stopped for ethics, morality, decency, compassion to the animals that I share this planet with. But here's the coolest thing about being vegan in this day and age. It's never been easier. You can have the same smell, taste, and texture of meat, cheese, and milk without it. Nobody has to suffer and die for dinner anymore, including you. They make all the products you like to eat in a vegan version. They make it from soy and wheat and rice and hemp. I want to show you some of the products that are out there, and I'm not receiving compensation from these companies. These are my selections of best tasting mock meat. I'm going to put them up on the screen so we can all see it clearly. You guys like bacon? Light Life, smart bacon. Bacon made from soy. This company, Light Life, also makes smoky tempeh bacon. Now, tempeh is a fermented version of soy, so it tastes a little different than the other stuff, but keep in mind, I would not recommend products to you if they didn't taste fantastic. I am trying to win you over, so you go veg. I'm not showing you every product we have. Some of our products suck. I'm showing you the best of the best. And when I say some of our products suck, don't act like there aren't shitty Chinese restaurants, nasty pizza places, and disgusting hamburger joints, okay? It works both ways. If it's made great, no matter what it is, it tastes great. If not, it's going to stink. Light Life also has soy chicken strips and steak strips as well. They also have a full line of deli meats. Turkey, bologna, and ham. You cannot tell the difference by sight, taste, or texture. A small company called Melissa's has chorizo, vegan chorizo. Energy bars, like Cliff bars, Luna bars, and a new bar just came out called Pro Bar. Might not have seen that one yet. They're all vegan. And many other companies have a vegan energy bar as well. Now remember, when you go veg, you don't give up anything. You got the vegan version of stuff, or eat things that are truly natural, like fruits and vegetables, or beans and lentils. Like turkey, we got you covered. My favorite product, tofu turkey, stuffing on the inside. Looks, smells, and tastes like turkey. Got to slice it with a knife. But guess what? No turkey had to suffer and die for this. Tofurkey also has Tofurkey slices. 6 different flavors of Tofurkey slices. Tofurkey also has tempeh strips. Remember I talked about the fake and bacon with Light Life tempeh? So they have some tempeh products too. Tofurkey also has Italian sausage, beer brats, and there seems to be an addiction in our society for beef jerky. I don't know what the hell is going on with everybody's taste buds. Everybody's lost their minds, but we got you covered. Tofurkey jerky. Anything you're looking for, we got that stuff veganized. And many other companies have a vegan jerky as well. The absolute best company on the market right now is It's All Good Gardein Protein. That is 1 of their chicken dishes. That is 2 of their chicken dishes. 3 chicken dishes. They have more chicken dishes. They have steak dishes. And they just came out a few months ago with buffalo wings as well. Trader Joe's, that grocery chain, they want to compete now in the soy meat industry. They made their own brand of soy chicken and soy steak strips. There's a company called Vegetarian Plus, and they have vegan citrus spare ribs. And Garden Burger has had riblets, mock ribs for over 10 years. I can't tell you how many of my meat-eating friends and family members I've flat out fooled with this stuff. And this company also has shrimp, kung pao chicken, orange chicken, and tuna rolls as well. Now, I mentioned wheat meat earlier. I don't think people really understand what it is. There's actually a name for it. It's called seitan. Not seitan. I want to give this stuff a try, too. And they now have flavored seitan on the market, too, by Upton's, ground beef style, chorizo style. They also have an Italian sausage flavor as well. Other favorite companies, Nate's Meatless Meatball.